First one, how do you think that artists can actually better protect from piracy?
The main thing that artists can do to protect from piracy online, most definitely, is to embed their work with watermarks online, the digital watermarks in the digital file that's uploaded.
Gotcha.
And that combined with using low-res images whenever possible, or and even low quality. If you're a musician and you're uploading your music, you can embed a digital fingerprint that can actually be so fragile that it renders the work unable to be copied. It'll just completely implode on itself, in essence, when someone tries to download it. There are other types of digital watermarks that you can use in both visual images and in sound that are more robust and that actually will track where the image is being downloaded and used, or where the sound recording is being downloaded and used.
Oh, wow.
And it will allow you to actually track the pirate.
Wow.
And that way, when that happens, it won't keep them from using your work, and it won't keep them from respelling it as though it's theirs, but it will allow you to find the person or the company that's doing it and force them to disgorge their profit they've made off of your work.
Wow.
You can certainly go after them legally at that point.
And that's literally if someone's downloaded it and they're trying to sell it with like a different product?
They may be trying to sell it exactly as it is and just claiming that it's theirs. One of the other thing that artists can do is to actually, if you're producing music or visual imagery or performance art or movies or any of those things, literary work, blog posts, etc., you can actually just copyright those, register them with the Copyright Office, and if you do that within the first 5 years of creating a work, it's going to be presumed that the work is yours. And so that's sort of notice to the world that, hey, I'm the original author. And if you have registered your work with the Copyright Office, then there is a presumption that you are the author. And anyone who is using your work, you have prima facie evidence, which is the baseline that you need in a legal action to establish that you're the author or the creator of the work.
Well, do you have, I don't know if this is for the website, but is there like a rough how much it costs to try and copyright?
Yeah, it's really not expensive at all. So it's easier to do it in batches. So if you have a body of work that you want to copyright, it can be as little as $35 per work that you're uploading and registering to the Copyright Office. And it can be, if you're doing it in sort of sets of images, if you're doing a series and you want to name the series and then name each work within the series, you can do that for as little as $85. And you can have unlimited images. So the actual copyright fees are not expensive at all. Learning your way around the Copyright Office can be a little bit tricky, right. But I think it's worth the investment. If you're going to spend the time doing the work, why not protect yourself? Especially if you're going to promote yourself online and sell your work, why not make sure that you've established authorship? And the other thing that does is you'll get a certificate from the Copyright Office once your application has been actually accepted and registered. Then you have the certificate to prove authenticity of the work, and your work actually becomes a little bit more valuable.
Interesting. So so a series, literally, if I have like 30 pieces, even though they're not, they're cohesive because I'm the illustrator, but they're not officially like Mike's book, I could still kind of do them as the batch.
Sure, absolutely.
Interesting.
And the fee for each batch may vary because the Copyright Office from time to time makes changes in their registration fees. But it's not terribly expensive. It's just not. So I think it's well worth it. And then you can always of course, embed the copyright symbol into your work and make sure that that's evident wherever you're publishing any work that's copyrightable. But again, that's not prima facie evidence because anyone can add the copyright symbol to anything.
Gotcha.
It's the registration that does it.
Really? Okay. Well, I think that series, I had no idea about the series thing, and I think even that just makes so much sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, I mean, generally speaking, creatives tend to work in batches.
Right.
You sort of get on a tear about something, and either a musical tear or a visual tear, or you've got a series of videos that you're uploading to YouTube or a series of blog posts, and you can certainly put those all together. And then if you ever do compile them into a book, then you just notify the Copyright Office that you're the owner of these copyrights and that you're rolling them into a larger work.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So it's not a complex system. It's pretty basic. It could be updated. There are certainly workarounds. People that take the biggest hit are musicians, due to the way that music is so very easily uploaded and shared now. And imagery on Facebook certainly takes a hit because we come from a generation of people who believe that we are entitled to information, knowledge.
Right.
Whatever's uploaded is free, right? And the only way that you can protect yourself against having someone swipe your stuff is to do what you need to do to take the time to protect it.
Right.
No one can do that for you.
Except literally you. And so that you are just, maybe I should have even started with this, but so you're basically, entrepreneur, St. Petersburg law firm, Thrive Law. So you basically, all you do is kind of help artists, like, copyright their work and go after it?
We have two sides of the house. There's Thrive Law is a business law boutique that specializes in entrepreneurs and creatives. So we have on one side of the house entrepreneurs, which is really anyone who is creative enough to launch their own business, and that can even be a physician. We have physician practices, we have hair salons, we have restaurants as clients, we have, you name it, the entrepreneurship side of the house is all over the board. And then true creatives on the other side are musicians, artists, etc. And we have, we have a lot of emerging artists as well as some more well-known artists as clients. And we really enjoy that. So when I left, I was at a large firm practicing business and employment law, and didn't see anyone whose life I loved. I had a creative background. I was a writer before I was a lawyer and an actress, and I do some visual art as well. And when I left my big firm to start Thrive Law, I knew that I wanted to serve my people.
Right.
The people that I cared about, who inspired me. I wanted to just be able to facilitate the things that inspired me. I'm not that talented as an artist, and so I am wowed and inspired by people who actually create art and put it into the universe, and I feel that it's worth protecting. So, so a large portion of my practice is very much dedicated to that.
That's wonderful. And you're probably being a little modest. It's probably pretty deep. I mean, if you're that dedicated to become a lawyer, you're probably a really good artist. You just obviously spent a lot of time. You just did more time with law, but I'm sure you still do some pretty cool stuff. So
every once in a while, I can whip something out.
There you go. That's what it takes. But what I find, it's funny because that's kind of my. I know I'm interviewing you, but I was a financial guy for 8 years, and then I basically left and started this thing because I thought it would be fun to just kind of give back and help promote artists, and because it's cool to help cool people.
I couldn't agree with you more, Mike. I think helping people that you care about is really meaningful, especially when you kind of understand the struggle of that journey.
Right.
having been a starving artist in New York City at one point, I don't think it's glamorous.
No, yeah.
I really would prefer to see thriving artists.
Right.
So one of the other ways that we try to help artists is to encourage them to use contracts effectively to protect themselves when they're selling their work, when they're doing commissioned work, etc. We don't love the idea of putting your art in someone's restaurant for free for exposure. We think that if someone's going to display your art and they're going to actually get the benefit of the ambiance that is created and all the creativity that comes with hanging art in a public place, that there should be a price tag on that, and that if they're not going to buy a piece or two, that there should also at least be some kind of a lease arrangement, and that we also make sure that the places that show your art have proper insurance in case something happens to your work while it's hanging there. So we try to teach artists how to leverage the law to actually keep and make more money.
Interesting.
So that they can do more work.
Right. That's a good idea, too. Do you see that in any way, I guess, with... So the exposure, I know I'm always seeing, as I go through my feed, everyone's kind of doing, I wish I remembered their name off the hand, but there was a guy who did a comic about a plumber who was just fixing the toilet and he didn't want anything. He's just like, well, I just do this for exposure. Right, yeah. And it was hilarious.
That's exactly right. Who else does that? No one. No one.
Is it?
So, but it takes the collective group, right, to change the way it's done. And so, here in St. Petersburg, Florida, we have a really amazing art scene here that is just so vibrant and happening. And it completely. Another reason I left my big firm is that I was driving to Tampa every day, which is a 30 to 45 minute ride, sometimes 50 or an hour. Yeah. And I wanted to help the artists in my community make a difference and help the scene to stay alive by making sure that the people who are contributing to it are economically sound and have a lifestyle that supports it. So I'm a real big proponent that business is good for the arts, and the arts is good for business, and so there should be collaboration.
Right.
Between the two.
Yeah, I think you're right. I guess in general, with some of the pirating that you have come across, is it domestic, or do you see it as like a lot of international stuff?
We see a lot more domestic than we see anything else. Although I will tell you that there are certainly individuals who are in other countries who have launched pirated sites. That, for example, we all know sort of Napster things and the what was it? It was called. Who was the guy? He's in Auckland, New Zealand, I think. Started
the Kim.com guy.
Yeah, the Kim.com guy. Yes, exactly. So he made his money, and he's a multi-millionaire, and is living in a maxed out house, all because people were downloading music illegally from his site, and he benefited from the ads and all the ad traffic on his site. And meanwhile, the artists are the ones that lose out. And if you were to, that site had both emerging artists and big ticket stars. And if we looked at, for example, if you look at, I think Katy Perry made $135 million last year, but she lost at least, conservatively, she lost at least 10% of it to piracy, which is $13.5 million. That's a lot.
Right.
So if you took that and you thought about just an emerging artist who maybe on a good day is making, $40,000, and they're losing 10% of that, you feel that.
Right.
$4,000 feels like a whole lot of money.
Right.
Because it is. you're making $40,000 a year,
right,
or less.
yeah,
So if you can do whatever you need to do to protect yourself from losing the sale, do it. Just do it. And one of the other things that happened here in my community that was really appalling was that we have a mural fest every year now, and we had a local artist who is very well known, who had an amazing artwork, an amazing mural, and someone from just across the bridge came over, took photos of it, and okay, your photo is fine. However, you taking it for commercial purposes is not. So this individual that took the photo went on Etsy, made magnets of the mural, and sold it as his own work.
oh,
And that's not okay. So,
No.
In that instance, the artist could have, don't know if he did or not, but could have gone after the infringer and demanded that he disgorge himself of all profits and say, hand over the magnet and hand over all the money that you've made so far. And it was probably minimal, but maybe it was minimal, but maybe it wasn't. And in the overall scheme of things, the more that you tolerate it, the harder it is to say that you actually have the right to it, because you're putting up with people stealing your work.
right,
And it's theft. It's out and out. That, in that instance, that was just out and out theft
Yeah.
in my mind. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't a misshare. It was absolutely done in order to profit, and that's not acceptable.
right, yeah, and
And the other thing that I think is really important to kind of get people to understand is that just my JD after my name, is something that I chose. I chose to go to law school. It's no more my JD is no more valuable to the world than anyone else's choice. And if people understood that creativity is a gift and a choice, and it is extraordinarily valuable to the world, and someone else who has a specific degree or a profession is no more valuable to the world than the creative, and in fact the creative is probably more valuable because it's more inspiring, and or at least it is certainly to people like me.
right,
And what I would love to see is for creatives to truly value themselves so that other people value them in return, and vice versa. To really respect what we all bring to the table, and that everything is true. Everything is creative if you think about it.
right,
It's just you're accessing different parts of your brain to do different things. So I think if we all respect each other, the issue of piracy sort of goes away if we will all do the right thing and really see what artists are actually contributing.
I definitely agree. It's that Steve Jobs quote just pops in my head where he's something like, if you just look around, that everything around you is just created by people, and so when you have that effect, or when you let that play into your mind, you can actually have a bigger impact. So just saying everything's creative.
Yeah.
Back to the magnet thing. So what if the guy, and maybe this might be the more creative way that someone can actually be helping the artist. So say that magnet person actually reached out to the artist and said, hey, I'm going to make this.
Yeah, so there's a licensing agreement right there. So
Right.
yes, absolutely. And this is again where we teach artists how to use contracts, like licensing agreements, to make and keep more of their money. So certainly, if another artist or creative came to me and said, Jamie, we'd like to take this ink block print that you did, and we want to create t-shirts out of it. I'm not inclined to make t-shirts out of my artwork right now. I'm busy helping artists do that for themselves. And so if someone came to me and said, I want to do that, I would absolutely be inclined to say, hey, that sounds good. I'll take a portion of those profits and I'll take some royalties. Here's a licensing agreement. Let's do this. And then you have a collaborative effort. But the artist is in control of where the work is going and how it's being used, and you want to maintain some kind of control over quality, to some degree to make sure that the work is being used in the way that you see fit. But again, it's all about contracts. And yes, that would have been a beautiful way to resolve that problem in a mutually amicable way.
Right. Is that, and this is because I know of this, but I don't know how it works typically. Is that like an upfront, or do you work on like the artist may get a percentage, or is that basically what the contract decides? Like if it's upfront or? It's
the latter. It's exactly what you just said. It's up to the parties that are to the contract to decide what the terms are. So, it's really what's fair. So if, let's say you are an emerging artist and you haven't had exposure, and this is going to land you on some fabulous, well-traveled e-commerce site. Mm-hmm. It may well be that you're going to take a smaller percentage on your first run than on future runs, and then you see how it goes and renegotiate. But the terms of those arrangements can be all over the board. If the artist is a more well-known artist, then I would expect, and whose work is already known, I would expect them to command a higher fee. And that's simply the way that it works. But as you get your work out there, some people might see those kinds of arrangements as some kind of sellout. I see it as a way to get your voice heard and your message out there and to more people. And if you're creating art, part of your desire and your drive somewhere in there has to be to reach people,
right,
or you wouldn't be taking the time to create.
Yeah.
And if someone else's money can help you reach more people, then absolutely take advantage of it, but just make sure you protect yourself with contracts.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know if maybe it's just my mentality or if there's other people, but I do hope that sellout. I mean, I don't know. It seems like it helps. So it's like selling out. I don't know. I guess it's still kind of, I don't know, maybe it's still there, but now that I'm just older, it's just my circles are like, no, sell your stuff so you can do your stuff.
I do think as we age, we sort of lose the
punk.
The punk, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's sort of a punk thought that we all thought it when we were 15 or when we were 18 or when we were 21. Somewhere along the way, you grow up.
You got to rent.
Realize that it's important to eat.
Yeah. You started paying for stuff. They think that's what happened. You end up paying for stuff, and you're like, wait a minute, I need money.
Yeah, money. More money means more work.
Yeah.
You can do and more people you can reach.
And better meals and everything.
Yeah.
So, well, that's all that I think is really good, and I think I'll kind of try and convey a little bit more to the people that are kind of paying attention to the Instagram and see what I can, kind of get this out there, let them know what to do.
That's great.
Wondering if there's anything, is there any other thoughts that you feel like I'm missing that you see as like also important with this, or?
I don't think so. I think, the main message to drive home to any creative is to, one, do the work, right? Don't schlock. Do the work. Mm-hmm. Make it your work. If it's your passion and it gives you joy to see your work go out into the world, then do it. And then if it's so much your passion that you want it to be your livelihood, then make sure that you're making it your livelihood by protecting it through both registering your work appropriately and taking advantage of the protections that the Constitution gives. Copyright law is derived from the Constitution of the United States, and that law protects you as your First Amendment voice, your First Amendment creative voice is protected under the Copyright Act as the original creator. So take advantage of it, and then further learn how to use contracts to keep your money, make your money, and get it out there. So yeah, the next time you want to go to a cool building and you see a cool restaurant that would love to have your work, it would really make the vibe of the restaurant enhance then why not propose a contract that says, here, lease my work for 6 months, and you can sell anything on the walls and take a percentage, and strike a licensing deal for T-shirts if you have to or want to, and or whatever other way you want to see your work get out there. If someone can help you do that, why not do it? But just make sure you learn how to use contracts. So those are the protections that you have available, so leverage them.
That, I don't know if I should even say this out loud, but that almost sounds like a really good business idea, to be like kind of the middle person. I wonder if I can coordinate that somehow to actually help. Because like you kind of need the restaurant help, and then you just you can be the middleman for the artists, and that way that's kind of working with people like you.
People who represent artists in that very way. So certainly, being a facilitator in that way is not a bad gig. There are people who do it and do very well doing it. So it's another form of being creative. It's helping people find the right venues for their work so that the right audience sees it, hears it, gets it, etc.
It's okay. Do you can you think of off the top of your head? Because now I'm actually really interested in this. Can you think of any other companies like that, like off the top of your head?
Well, I can tell you a company right now. I have lots of people that I know do it. That have their own entities. They're not some major corporation. They're literally very, very grassrootsy sort of artist representatives. One of my girlfriends that sort of inspired me is a woman named Stacey Waddell. She's in New York City. She lives in, I think she's in Soho now. She lives in Tribeca. She, when I was living in New York, would have these amazing events in her apartment. She had a huge, amazing apartment with a roof garden, and she would invite artists in, and we would cook food, and she would schlep art, and she would invite super wealthy people in to hang out and see the work, and we would schlep art, and it was so much fun. And people bought more because the artist was on hand to talk about their work. And then she also did placement of work in various places. So you can really make a good living at it if you find the right artist to represent.
What was the last thing you said? And then Crispin?
Oh no, not Crispin. No, she would place them. Place them. Place the work. Yeah, place the work in different locations. Or she was also a graphic designer herself who worked a lot with corporate real estate. So she would be able to place artwork in different corporate buildings, in offices that want art and need art desperately to keep their people going during the day. If you're in an ivory tower, you'd like art. Yep. To look at. So she was, she made a great living at that, and continues to. And there are lots of people here in St. Pete, Tampa, who are starting on that path now too. So we're seeing that become a very valued service.
That is very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued.
Another angle is to work with interior designers to help introduce interior designers to some really great new emerging artists, and matching them up with homeowners who are well off enough to use an interior designer, and they're more than happy to pay for real art. A real genuine piece of fabulous work to hang on their wall instead of something that came from Target.
Love you to the moon and back.
The artists that make it to Target, because they're making money.
Yeah, they're.
It's not knock on, but.
No, I hear you. Like, there's something nice about unique, and yes.
Yeah.
Well, we get it. Which also, as you made the Southern joke, this is an off personal comment. Where did you originally grow up? Because you don't have a New York or a...
Yeah, that's very funny. So I was born in Charlotte, North Carolina, and my dad was in the Navy, and so we moved a lot. He was from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, so I don't have an actually very thick Southern accent. But I grew up primarily in Lakeland, Florida, which is right in the middle of the state.
Huh.
And if you know Florida, there are pockets of Florida that are not Southern at all, and then there are pockets of Florida that are Southern. And Polk County, and where Lakeland, Florida is located, is very, very Southern.
Huh.
So that's absolutely where I grew up. That's where that joke came from.
Interesting. I do, and yes, I have heard about the different pockets and etc. Southern and not. Well, awesome. I think that. So I guess what I'll probably do, I'll see what I can kind of get as written out. I'll probably do an audio release of kind of both of this, if you don't mind.
Sure, that's totally fine. Slice and dice it however you wish.
Okay, thank you. How about for getting in touch with you? Like, it sounds so Thrive Law.
You can reach us at www.thrivelaw.com. You can find us on the web there, and then you can also email us at hello@thrivelaw.com, or you can call the office at 727-300-1990. And we can handle intellectual property matters nationally. So anything that touches intellectual property, copyright, trademark, etc., licensing agreements, you can do those at a national level.
You can do those?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. Okay, well then I will be passing all that along. And
I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Me too. Thanks for taking the time. And like I said, I'll just forward along whenever I get this released.
Okay, that would be great.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Thanks, bye. Bye-bye.